previously on Talk That Talk.
But at the end of the day, if you love your band, no matter who your band is, I love Norfolk State, right? I love Norfolk State. I love my school. Norfolk State gave me so much. I got my undergrad and my master's from there. I am never going to do anything, especially online, to a bunch of non-Norfolk State people to put my school down. And I think at the end of the day, if we as HBCU alumni do that, and then B, also understand these are students, these are like young adults. All right, you can say that to somebody my age. I know I don't suck on the trumpet, so I don't have to have the validation of some people that don't even know me. But at the end of the day, we're talking about young people, and we're talking about a bullying generation where people glorify and make jokes about people sexually assaulting students in groups, and we call these group uncut. So we can sit up there, we can do all these things, and online, but at the end of the day, we need to be doing what's in the best interest of students, of young people that look like us, black people. How are we improving the race? How are we improving the experience so that people that look like us can go out and compete? Because at the end of the day, the world don't look like us. Shoot, the United States don't even look like us. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be doing what's in the best interest of our programs and what's in the best interest of these students. And that starts with putting your money where your mouth is. If you want your band to be better, put your money there. And then do things that are in the best interest of the band. Because somebody even said it, and I've said it too. That's the easiest way to get your alumni excommunicated from your band. And to me, that is a bigger killer of a band program than a band director that you don't like his vision. Because if you don't know where you come from, it's hard to see where you're going. So I think that's the end of that for me.
All right, I was gonna put another thought in there. I got to remember what my thought was because it went all. Oh, I remember what it was. So when we're talking about like change and helping, a lot of you guys were like, if it depends on who's in front. What if the students actually make a bad decision in thinking that because it was the old way, but you have a good director in front of you that really can change the program? But then the students are like, well, this ain't what we used to do, so I don't like it. Case in point, I think Savannah State went through something like that when they had their new director. I think this past year, they were upset because the last interim director did not become the head band director, and they received a new director, and so they were like, "Well, they not marching this year." What's the thoughts? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, at the end of the day, man, you can't have a band without students. I mean, I hate to say it, like the students, I think students sometimes don't realize the true power that they have, right? I think students at the end of the day want structure and want vision. They want somebody good at the job. Yeah, you ain't gonna always like the decisions. I ain't always like the decisions Doc made. Me and Doc used to butt heads all the time. But now me and Doc are the best of friends. I talk to Doc all the time. Any career move I make, I call Doc first. You know what I'm saying? After him kicking, like Quan, I got kicked out the band every week. You can ask Julie. I got kicked out the band every single week. Doc would find something. I used to get kicked out of Wind Ensemble. I'll tell that story in the after party. But I got kicked out of Wind Ensemble, band, pep band. Shoot, we would have an interest meeting. Doc would kick me out of that. Like, that was my experience. But now he's one of the biggest mentors in my life. And now I can look back on that and say that's because Doc wanted me to move to that next level. So I think that at the end of the day, students don't always have the vision that a band director should have. As students, they only know what you tell them, especially when it comes to administration, scholarship, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, students want structure and they want something that they can be proud of. You know what I'm saying? And if you're providing that experience, and like I think from what Julian was saying, they didn't even get a guy a chance. That's just a bad decision from them. This guy could have been, Julian White walking in the door and they wouldn't even have known it, or Nathan Hamer or whoever, walking in the door and they wouldn't even have known it. So I think at the end of the day, as students, and I'm sitting up here talking like I want one of them. I made a lot of bad decisions when I was in school. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to trust that the administration and all the people in charge put the right person in front of you, man. Get a person a shot. Oh, Quan, you disagree? What you got, man?
Nah, it's not that I don't disagree. I'm just trying to empathize with the kid to put my mindset, because I know that a lot of kids already deal with abandonment issues. And honestly, from an administrative perspective, you have to be mindful of that switching process. Now, of course, I don't know if the tutelage or experience or expertise of that interim band director, but I would have question as well as a student. Well, why didn't you pick him? And if you couldn't give me enough valid reason, because he stuck with us through this situation. But let's be honest, and I saw this in the comments, transitions is hard, period. You know what I'm saying? And when you're talking about those coveted seats, let's be real, it's certain seats that are coveted in the HBCU. And I'm not being ugly, I'm not even speaking about the president, I'm speaking about band directors and coaches. And real talk, whoever over Greek life, those seats are low-key coveted. So it's kind of like, I just would want to see, like, why didn't they select them? Number one. And then two, what was the approach of the previous brand director? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you really sit your kids down and say, hey, this was a great band, this is the vision and goal, so that the kids can get the buy-in factor? I think when the kids buy in, of course, they 100 grand. But what was his approach to it for them to be like, nah, we just not rocking with you, period? That's all I want to share.
So my thought on that is, like, yeah, for us to be adults and be on the outside looking in, it's easy for us to say, like, yeah, you want to have the buy-in of the students, or the students will want to be able to say, well, why didn't you pick this? Because even we experienced it, right? So before y'all got here, we thought that Gordon was going to take over, because I mean, just naturally, like, that's just the progression of things. Of course he's going to take over. So, but it's like, at that time, at that stage, would we really have understood if you say, okay, here goes the vision, here goes why this person is eligible for this role, this versus this person versus this and that. We're just coming from an emotional standpoint. No, we ride with Prop Gordon because that's my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he been here, da da da. Whereas you want to bring these outsiders in, they don't know nothing, blase, blase. But really and truly, not to say that Gordon could not have done a tremendous job, we will never know, because he never got the full chance to be able to step into his own vision for the band. But I think that's a logical answer, or a logical approach versus an emotional approach. I think if we're talking about being able to give the students buy-in, yeah, of course we go with comfort, and we would like to say, like, yeah, I think that this person will be better. But that's really hard to say, like, would we truly be able to idealize what is necessary, what will actually take us to the next level while actually being in it? It's
Well,
easiest
let me,
for
well, let me ask you this, Maya. That's a very interesting uh, look at it. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you two questions. When we first got to PV, you personally, what was your train of thought
um
towards us? Honestly.
She probably was like, who did nigga? Oh, go ahead.
so let's go back, right? So because before y'all got there, I went through my own transition. So I had two transitions. I had dance director transitions as well as band director transitions. I went through 3 dance directors, boom, 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 within like what, a year and a half, 2 years or whatever. And then also with y'all. So it was just kind of like, uh, uh, what's happening? That's really what my thought process was, because my direct, or not to say that I have no tie in with the band, but my direct relationship is with the dance director first, right? And then because that's who I'm going to have I'm going to have the most closeness with them. Um, so at that point in time, it was just kind of like, well, what the fuck is happening? Like, okay, the way that it was presented to us was, oh, we're getting a new band director, but he's bringing his wife, and we were like, okay, what does that mean? Oh, she also used to, and this again, this is how it was portrayed to us. And but she used to be a dancing doll. She's just gonna help y'all. She's gonna help. I was like, okay, but we had already had our misunderstanding or misconception of the transition with Miss Danielle, and that brought about its own, its own set of problems. Now with y'all, I was kind of like, I don't think that I was like, no, fuck that. no, hell no. But I can understand both sides. I was able to see, I can understand why some of the kids, why some of the band people are like, nah, we're not really down for that. And on the other side, I was like, well, I mean, it's going to happen regardless. I mean, like,
isn't it a lot too, Maya? I might ask you the second question too, but isn't that a lot of what Justin was talking about a couple shows ago? Oh, these people went to this school, so I don't know about that, man, because they not from this town. Was it some of it that?
Yeah, some of it was, some of it was okay, Doc did go to Southern. Like, yes, he went to Norfolk too, but the way it was displayed to us, it was Southern, you know what I'm saying? So it was more so heavy on the Southern side. So I was like, okay, maybe. Then I wasn't aware that all of y'all were coming. Like, it was just more so like, okay, Doc is coming, and then he bringing his folks. And it was like, okay, well, I don't really know what his folks have, what they have to offer, but whatever. So that it was all of that. But to me, in terms of the band director side, it's just like, okay, well, shit. I mean, I don't know, like, what I'm just what y'all came in, what, 11 or 12?
12.
Okay, well then that's a little bit different, but
because like I wish he was. I wish Walter was in the comments because Walter and I have had the same question. That's why I want this conversation. I wanted to ask you the same.
I wasn't gung ho and I wasn't hell no. I was just like, well, here we are. It's gonna happen regardless.
And this goes back into what we were talking about last show. It seems like when it comes to the band world, Southerners look like it's Ivy League. You know what I'm saying? It's like people get instant credibility when they have Southern on their resume.
And that's why I was kind of like, well, maybe. Now, my side of it was with the whole, like, dance director thing with Miss Danielle. I was totally like, oh, hell no. Like, no, absolutely not. So when I did hear that Miss Shawn was coming, I was like, okay, well, I'd rather deal with that.
And she had that Black Ivy League. She went to Southern. Like that.
But also, it was also a little bit of personal of how we have to transition with the whole captain situation. We're coming in the middle of the year. All of the he say, she say, all the mess and the pettiness that we also had heard rumors and this, that, and the third that were floating around. It was a lot. It was just a lot coming from everywhere. And we had no idea that Dr. Shaw was on her way out anyway. So it was like, boom, we at Honda. Actually, this gonna be my last performance. Huh? Boom. Your next person gonna be Miss Danielle. Who? What? Absolutely hell no. Boom.
Never dancing in the line. What?
Else coming? What? You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what the hell is going on? So it was just a lot. So it was hard for me to really understand what I felt because every time I got okay with something else was happening.
And
go ahead, Quan.